Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
The Coliseum in Oakland, so they're going to be there in 2024, and we're exploring a variety of alternatives, including staying at the Coliseum for the remaining years in the interim.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. That was Rob Manfred talking about the A's possibly staying, not staying, but playing at the Coliseum until 2028, when the mini stadium in Vegas is built with a retractable dome, if they can make it work. And we are joined by Ben Ross, longtime follow on social media, Ben, but I don't know if we've ever actually chatted. Ben Ross, Bay Area broadcaster and journalist, covered the A's for NBC Sports Bay Area, now covers the A's, some of their games for AP, also CBS Sacramento. Ben, thank you for joining us on short notice. I'm sure you're getting hit up everywhere about this A's thing, man. How's it going?
Hey, no, thank you guys for having me on. Yeah, I mean, definitely a crazy day, kind of expected, to be honest, but still, really sad, really disappointing for A's fans and I think baseball fans too. So good to be on with you, though.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to ask, because when I woke up this morning, I saw the Passan article, and then I saw Nightingale, and there was still, don't give me hope or anything, but there is still that glimmer of hope in terms of, quite literally, there's no shovel in the ground yet. But just to kind of, in your understanding, it's over, right? Unless something happens with the stadium.
I wouldn't say it's over. I mean, yeah, it's tough because, I don't want to give people too much hope. I mean, it's not good. Like, this was a huge step. I think at this point, the only thing that could keep this from going through, well, there's a couple of things. Number one, the fact that there's just not a lot of details about this plan in Vegas yet. Mm-hmm. Like, they put out these renderings that they then said were not legitimate. They weren't going to work. And so they haven't put out real renderings yet. It's a really small site that they're talking about. And so, like, they haven't figured out a lot of the details about how exactly the stadium is going to be built, where the money is coming from. I mean, we don't, with John Fisher, you never know if he's he could screw something up, or he might not be able to get everything funded that he wants. So there's that. And then there's also this group called, which I'm sure you guys have seen, Schools Over Stadiums, which is a Nevada-based educators group, teachers who are trying to basically put on the ballot, give Nevada voters the option here on the ballot. Like, they're trying to prevent this $380 million of taxpayer money in Nevada from going toward this stadium. And I mean, again, it's like the crazy thing is it's really unpopular in Nevada too. Like, almost, it's overwhelmingly, like, if they do get this thing on the ballot, it will almost certainly fail. And that would be another thing that could derail it. Obviously the A's and MLB are filing lawsuits against that too, to try and prevent it. So, I mean, there's those battles, but again, to me, the biggest thing is there's just like not a lot of details right now about the stadium in Vegas, how it's going to be built, how big it's going to be, where all the funding is coming from. There's still a lot of those types of issues, but I mean, this was obviously a bad day. The fact that they've now got the full go ahead.
Yeah. And when it comes to that stadium, I mean, we played Rob Manfred before you joined us there, him saying, they're still going to try and explore possibly playing in the Coliseum past 2024 when the lease is up. Right. My question is, why would the city of Oakland even remotely help John Fisher and MLB in this situation? And also, like, who are some potential candidates to potentially host the A's for those gap years, if you will, besides the Aviators Stadium, which from my understanding is an open roof, or not even an open roof, just an open air stadium in the middle of the desert.
Right. No, that's a great question too. That's another one of those things that's not known yet. Like, they've got 3 seasons, 25, 26, and 27, where they really have no idea where they're going to play. And,
crazy.
And to the point, Las Vegas outdoors would be really difficult. I don't know if the players union would approve that.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a AAA facility and you're playing in Las Vegas in the summer, extreme heat. To answer your question, I think Oakland is not going to want to allow the A's to use the Coliseum. However, if they could get something out of it, I think the first demand that you're hearing about is, okay, if you want to use the Coliseum those years, the very first demand we have is that you change your name, that
Yes.
Oakland gets to keep the rights to the Athletics. And I think, they're also hoping for some sort of a guarantee that they could also get an expansion team in Oakland. I don't know if you can get that guarantee, but I think that's certainly where you start, to at least keep the naming rights. We saw that with the Sonics when they left Seattle. We've seen that with other teams potentially, but I think most fans, and I think Oakland is inclined to, tell John Fisher and the team to go find their own place to play and kind of let them suffer through who knows where for the next, well, they've got this year at the Coliseum, but then the next 3 years, who knows?
Talking to Ben Ross, Bay Area broadcaster and journalist, covered the A's for NBC Sports Bay Area, now covers some of their games for the AP, also a part of CBS Sacramento. Ben, I'm not trying to get you in trouble here, but do you think the A's acted in good faith? You have Sheng Tao, the mayor of Oakland, saying that the city procured $928 million for a stadium in Oakland, but then you also have John Fisher and Major League Baseball saying they did everything in their power to make this work in Oakland. Very similar, I think even less clean than the Raiders situation. Where should the blame lie? We do a game on this. We do a game on this show named Blame Pie. Where would you lay most of this blame?
I'm not afraid to say that I think 100% of the blame goes to the Oakland Athletics, to the team. And I'm also not afraid to say that I don't believe a word that John Fisher says. And I think anyone who's been paying attention shouldn't believe that, a word that comes out of his mouth. Same thing goes at this point for Rob Manfred and MLB. I think it's tough to answer. I think at one point they were negotiating in good faith. I'm not sure what happened. There's a lot of speculation that maybe, it got close and John Fisher realized he didn't have the money to hold up his end of this Howard Terminal deal. Because as you said, the city of Oakland actually did kind of get a lot of the financial requests that taken care of on their end. They raised a lot of money for the offsite infrastructure, more than Las Vegas did. And so, from the sounds of it, they were progressing. They were close. I think both sides will admit they were pretty close. And then just sort of abruptly, Fisher and his team backed out. So, when Rob Manfred today says stuff like, we want to do everything in our power to avoid moving a team, and we feel like we did, that's just not true. It's just not. There's facts and details to back that up. There's plenty that could have been done to keep this team in Oakland. And again, the city, I think, agreed to most of the requests that the team made, and I think maybe even surprised the A's at that point. So I'm not afraid to say that I put 100% of this on the A's and Major League Baseball.
Ben, I now is probably not the time that you want to go back and think about all the steps of this process, but is there anything that just really sticks out to you that just has never sat well with you throughout all of this relocation stuff? Because it's been messy, it's been dirty, it's been shady. There's been so many lies that have been told, from the renderings to just everything involved with this has just been a mess. Is there one thing that particularly sticks out to you that just you can't get over?
It's tough to pick one thing.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, it's kind of everything. If I'm going to pick one thing, to me, it's the dishonesty. I think the A's have been dishonest throughout the process. I think the league has been dishonest. I think Rob Manfred has been dishonest. And, I don't know. Look, here's the thing. Maybe I shouldn't be this naive about professional sports. I think it's always been this way. Maybe not always this dirty, but look, professional sports is big business. We've seen teams move before. but as someone who has a career covering sports, it makes it tough for me. It's getting harder and harder for me to separate the sport itself and the athletic talent that you're seeing from the big business and the greed and some of the corruption that you see, not just in baseball, in all pro sports. I actually, for the last couple of years, wrote for MLB.com on a freelance basis. And I quit that job this past year when Rob Manfred was kind of making fun of the A's reverse boycott. And I was like, oh, it was nice to have like almost an average crowd, just stuff like that. I found outrageous, unnecessary, really disgusting. And, I couldn't be a part of working for an organization like that. And again, like I'm still going to work in sports, but I don't see myself ever going for fun to a Major League Baseball game again.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
That's tough, Ben, but we appreciate you being honest with us. And thank you for coming on, Ben Ross. This has been a great conversation. Yeah. Just to pull it behind the curtain, I hit up Ben this morning. I said, Ben, can you come on? I know you're passionate about the A's and about this. And Ben was very, very nice to come on with us and just give some great perspective for those that were curious about certain things within the A's and a tough day for Oakland, the East Bay, and honestly, Northern California.
No, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely a tough day. And I think, honestly, not a good day for baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Ben. Take care.
Appreciate it, Ben.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
All righty. That was Ben Ross, Bay Area broadcaster and journalist, covered the A's for NBC Sports Bay Area, now covers them for AP, also a part of CBS Sports Sacramento. Got to get to a break. When we get back, Draymond was suspended. How do you feel about the amount of games? And guess who he returns against? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Get in zone, AutoZone.